Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the reading of Exodus. Today we're going to continue on with the plagues of Egypt. We have the third plague coming up next, which is lice. This is chapter 8, verse 16, and moving forward. So the Lord said to Moses, "Say to Aaron, stretch out your rod and strike the dust of the land, so that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt." And they did so. For Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and struck the dust of the earth, and it became lice on man and beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. Now the magicians also worked with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So there were lice on man and beast. Then the magician said to Pharaoh, "This is the finger of God." But Pharaoh's heart grew hard, and he did not heed them, just as the Lord had said. Now I do have a note here that says, Egypt's sorcerers were unable to replicate the plague of gnats by their magic arts. They realized they were in over their heads and confessed to Pharaoh, "This is the finger of God." But Pharaoh would not listen to his own spiritual advisors. Not a smart thing to do. The fourth plague, flies. And the Lord said to Moses, "Rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh as he comes out to the water. Then say to him, 'Thus says the Lord, let my people go, that they may serve me. Or else, if you will not let my people go, I will send swarms of flies on you and your servants, on your people and into their houses. The houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground on which they stand. And in that day I will set apart the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, in order that you may know that I am the Lord in the midst of the land. I will make a difference between my people and your people. Tomorrow," remember that's what Pharaoh had said to Moses about the frogs. It's continuing on now. "Tomorrow, this sign shall be." Now the note says here, this time God would make a distinction between the Israelites and the Egyptians by permitting no flies in Goshen, the land of his people. God was giving further proof that his power was behind the ecological disasters. Just think of all those flies, swarms and swarms of flies. I know I can't stand it if one gets in the house. Can you imagine having swarms of them? Ugh. Okay, continuing on. And the Lord did so. Thick swarms of flies came into the house of Pharaoh, into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted because of the swarms of flies. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and said, "Go, sacrifice to your God in the land." And Moses said, "It is not right to do so, for we would be sacrificing the abomination of the Egyptians to the Lord, our God. If we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes, then they will stone us. Oh, will they not stone us? We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord our God as he has commanded us." So Pharaoh said, "I will let you go, that you may sacrifice to the Lord your God in the wilderness. Only you shall not go very far away. Intercede for me." Then Moses said, "Indeed, I am going out from you, and I will entreat the Lord, that the swarms of flies may depart tomorrow from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. But let Pharaoh not deal deceitfully any more in not letting the people go to sacrifice to the Lord." So Moses went out from Pharaoh and entreated the Lord. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses. He removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Not one remained. But Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also. Neither would he let the people go. The fifth plague. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go into Pharaoh and tell him, 'Thus says the Lord God of the Hebrews, let my people go, that they may serve me. For if you refuse to let them go and still hold them, behold, the hand of the Lord will be on your cattle in the field, on the horses, on the donkeys, on the camels, on the oxen, and on the sheep, a very severe pestilence. And the Lord will make a difference between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Egypt. So nothing shall die of all that belongs to the children of Israel.' Then the Lord appointed a set time, saying, 'Tomorrow the Lord will do this thing in the land.' So the Lord did this thing on the next day, and all the livestock of Egypt died. But of the livestock of the children of Israel, not one died. Then Pharaoh sent, and indeed, not even one of the livestock of the Israelites was dead. But the heart of Pharaoh became hard, and he did not let the people go." And I have a note here that says, again, the Lord would make a distinction between Israel and Egypt. The livestock of the former would live, while that of the latter would die. To this point, there had been no destruction of property or bodily suffering as a result of Pharaoh's obstinacy. Unless you equate having frogs hopping on your pillow as a painful experience. I do. That would be a very painful experience for me. But that leniency was about to change. The death of the livestock would have been a severe blow to the Egyptian economy. Okay. Now, this is going to be the end of the fifth plague, the death of the livestock. And I think I'm going to stop there today. There are still more, so we have 6 through 10 to get through. But I don't want to have to rush through it to meet our time frame. So I'm going to end it there today. Please go back and reread this whole section. And notice that it was all done on Pharaoh's timing, as he had said tomorrow. And once again, the magicians were only able to do the first 2 plagues. They were no longer able to do the same thing that God was doing. And they recognized that this is the finger of God. So it's like even all of his magicians and his wise men were telling him, maybe it's time to stand back a little bit. But of course, Pharaoh's heart was hardened, so he did not listen. Okay, that's it for today. I will see you tomorrow. You have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.